In this video, I'm going to talk about modernizing your purchasing operations through the use of modern ERP systems. What does that mean? Traditionally, purchasing has been a very important function within any government organization. It remains so, will be so, because you are responsible for public dollars, taxpayer dollars, and you have a lot of responsibility on you to spend those dollars correctly. In many states, like in Tennessee, purchasing agents can make decisions because it's in their power to purchase something that they think is in the best interest of their organization. So really powerful position, lots of responsibility. I want to talk about how to modernize your operations. So let's talk about what that means. If you think about what purchasing did traditionally, it was a very paper-oriented process. It was very manual. In fact, some organizations still continue doing this process where if I need to buy a box of pencils, what I'm going to do first is I am going to, on a paper form, create a requisition, right? You fill it out, and what I do then is I send it to my supervisor to approve or deny, right? The supervisor, let's say, approves my requisition. But depending on where we are in the organization, if I'm the lowest level employee, and so my supervisor is, kind of slightly above me, not a manager, this then goes to, let's say, the department head, right? And the department head then either approves or denies. I'm just going to say approves. So now I should be able to get my box of pencils. The problem here is that when this requisition is sent to the purchasing department, they have their own process for checking whether or not this requisition is good, if you're buying from the right vendor, if you're using the right cost allocation, the right budget line items. In a manual process, this is really hard to catch. Now imagine this has taken you almost a week to get to this point where now purchasing will tell you, because they'll check the budget, and if you don't have the budget, or if you use the wrong line item in your requisition, you get a big fat deny, because you may not have used the right budget line item, or you don't have the budget this year for a box of pencils. So what just happened? You wasted a week and a half, 2 weeks to get to this point. And by the way, lots of manual work, right? You wrote the form out, you duplicated it, you sent it in an inter-office mail, you faxed it over, you scanned it. No matter what, there was a lot of human intervention and points of failure within here. You could have caught the budget line item here, you could have caught it here, but sometimes these people don't have access to the financial system. Sometimes they don't have insights into the ERP and the financial piece of this. So it's approved because they know that this person needs the pencils and it's the right thing to do, so it's approved. But at this point, it's denied, and it's taken them a week, week and a half. I've seen it go on for weeks, because what if this person is out of the office? This person's out of the office. It adds on to the timeline. And at the end of the day, you don't get what you need. So how does a modern purchasing system within an ERP solution address this? First of all, there's going to be a lot of automation. My requisition will be a form on our ERP system, right? So what I do, I put in a requisition in my ERP, purchasing module, what have you. And automatically, once I hit submit, it shows up in my supervisor's queue, right? You get a notification like you would on a cell phone or your desktop. Supervisor clicks on it, gets into the system, and approves. But get this, the system is automatically checking right here if there is budget available, if it's the right line item, if it is entered correctly. It's going to kick all of those things back to me. If I don't have the budget to buy a box of pencils, at this point, the system is going to say denied, and give you a reason for why it's denied. And then it's up to you to go talk to your supervisor and have budgets amended and what have you. But we just saved ourselves a week and a half, 2 weeks of work just to get to this point. Now, what's important to note here is you've set up the system in such a way that it does that for you. Not all systems will do it. Not all systems will do it unless you set it up this way. So you need to first define what your process needs to be, right? This is all within code. This is all within the laws. You need multiple levels of approval depending on who you are, what your position is, before you can buy a box of pencils or a bus or a bulldozer, right? But you don't have to go through this whole process just to buy a box of pencils, as you would in a paper process. In a modernized system, all of this is done electronically. It's done in the background. It's done by software. Now think about the future. It's not here yet, but if you have a great inventory management system that keeps track of all the pencils you use, an AI-based agent can just go in and say, hey, you're running out of pencils. It hits the minimum order quantity. I'm going to go get you a requisition for pencils because it's within the budget. It's coming soon. It's not here yet. But my point is, in a modernized system, you can cut down the time it takes to get a requisition, to get you a box of pencils. Because imagine this, if you had the budget, if you weren't denied, it goes to this step, it will go to the next step of the department head and to purchasing, and you get your PO. And based on how well your system's integrated with an e-commerce solution, you can even trigger a buy out of, I've seen Amazon set up, Walmart set up, where automatically this will trigger a buy out of your e-commerce solution, which is deeply integrated with your purchasing and financial solutions, by the way. So modernized requisitions, modernized purchasing. If you're still running your purchasing department on paper and pencil, please reach out so we can talk to you about how do you strategize and get to this next level of operations. Thank you.